Salute everybody. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. How dare you say Jarvis loved Naziah Harris, even though he did? Salute to the replay gang. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to the chat. Now, many people still question, how can we say that Jarvis loved Naziah? Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the panel. Anyone that want to come up on the panel with me, whether you want to discuss why you feel as though Jarvis didn't love Naziah, or whether you want to discuss why you feel as though he did love Naziah, I'm going to be opening up the panel for anyone to join me on the panel. I got quick announcements to make, and then we're going to dive into this demonstration. First, let me get my copyright disclaimer out the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this video that I call a demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Now, Ms. Parker has started a backup channel. Ms. Parker's backup channel is Switching Lanes with Ms. Parker. So if I could get everybody to subscribe to Ms. Parker's backup channel, Switching Lanes with Ms. Parker. Moderators, if you could drop Ms. Parker's backup channel. Also, make sure you all subscribe to my backup channel, After Dark with Shank, or either Shank Rock Films. Later on tonight, we will be going live on my backup channel at 10 p.m. So make sure we subscribe to my backup channel as well as Ms. Parker's backup channel. Let me drop this link. So if anyone want to join me on the panel to chop it up. All right. Now, I made a comparison on the previous demonstration about Jarvis being a monster, and I compared it to King Kong being a monster. Now, King Kong was a monster, correct? However, King Kong loved the woman that was in the movie. Jarvis did not love her. She was just the only kid he inappropriately touched who was okay with it. She made it normal for him to be a pedo. Now, let's look at love. Now, in my opinion, when it comes to love, everybody has their own definition of love. Love can be whatever the person feels as though love is. Wouldn't y'all agree? Because I could give y'all the definition of love. Somebody else can give y'all the definition of love. And then the third person can give the definition of love. And all three definitions are different. However, we still meet at the same point of love. Love is the feeling that you and I have towards other people or even ourselves. Now, they say that there's a such thing as unconditional love. What is some examples of unconditional love? They say the love that a mother has for her child is unconditional. Every other kid was grossed out by his behavior. My brother always taught me that when you're in love with somebody, it just comes normal. All right. I see you, Peewee. As I said before, this is an open panel. And if anyone wants to join me on the panel to chop it up, feel free. Now, love. I've heard this saying before, and I still hear it. When a man cheats on a woman, the man will tell the woman, baby, I'm sorry for cheating on you. I didn't mean to. I love you. Most of the times the woman will say, you don't love me because if you did love me, you wouldn't have cheated on me, right? How many of y'all have heard that before? If you love me, you wouldn't have cheated on me. And that could go both ways. A woman can cheat on a man, and then the woman will turn around and say, well, I'm sorry that I cheated on you. I'll make it up to you. I love you. And the man might say, if you love me, you wouldn't have cheated on me. Once again, love is based on feelings. It's all about feelings, unless it's unconditional love. And that is the love that a parent has for their child, right? Now, why do I say? Because everybody is going to give their own perspective on why they feel as though Jarvis loved Naziah. Why do I feel that Jarvis loves Naziah, even though he inappropriately touched her, which was wrong for him to do? All right, let me break my perspective down. Now, over the time, before the inappropriately touching that Jarvis did to Naziah, there was a gap. He didn't just start off inappropriately touching Naziah hers. No. So we got to remember, Jarvis was active in them children's lives. Now, according to Jarvis, the reason why he was having the children come up to the shop to work is because they were always asking for things. They were always asking for money. And we can see that receipt when Naziah was asking Jarvis about the monthly female necessities that she needed. Now, Jarvis says this. He says, I didn't have a problem with giving them things, but I wanted to make them earn it. Now, as I said before, he didn't start out inappropriately touching Naziah. So, in the beginning of the relationship, it was as Shannon said. Remember, in the beginning of Shannon's testimony, Shannon said it shouldn't have been no more than an uncle and a niece relationship. And Shannon is right. She's right, because Shannon knows that that's how their relationship started out. Their relationship started out as a niece and uncle relationship. And that's where the love that Jarvis had for Naziah comes into play. All right? In the beginning, Jarvis loved her. Even at the end, Jarvis still loved Naziah because, according to the text messages, and this is evidence, Naziah texted Jarvis that morning of January the 9th. And the text was all about meeting up. Why was it that they were going to meet up? Because for those that believe that Naziah is still alive, that's the whole point right there. As the evangelist even said, Naziah was smart. Naziah was intelligent. Naziah outsmarted them. Naziah and them other kids, they talked about Naziah running away. The evangelist said that. So Jarvis was looking out in the best interest of Naziah. Now this is when this situation turns left, because either Jarvis helped Naziah to run away, either Jarvis and Lady, because remember, Jarvis and Lady was close. Jarvis and Lady was close. So it's a strong possibility that Jarvis helped Naziah and Lady get Naziah to a safe haven spot. Even Vari talks about Naziah running away. All right. And I wish y'all would just come up on the panel with me, because it's just too much going on in the chat. I see people disagreeing with it. I see people agreeing with it. You can harm someone. Listen to me, y'all. You can harm someone physically, mentally, as well as spiritually, and still love them. An incident just took place, right? When a mother unalived a 16-year-old child, right? Now, another incident took place many, many years ago when Marvin Gaye's father unalived him, right? And the majority of us as parents say this all the time. When our children maybe buck on us, when our children may get on some disrespectful-ish, what do we say to our children? I brought you into this world, and I'll take you out of this world. Now, just because a parent says that to the child, do that mean that the parent don't love the child? And in some cases, the child bucked at the parent, the child tried to fight the parent, and the parent took the child's life. Do that mean that that parent didn't love that child? See, we're confusing love with how we feel. And as I stated before, in a relationship, if your spouse cheat on you, automatically you're in your feelings. So you're going to tell your significant other, if you love me, then you wouldn't have cheated on me. That's not true. That's not true. Just because somebody does something wrong to you, that don't mean that they don't love you. Let's take, for instance, a person that get high. All right, let's take an addict, for instance. Now, an addict is an addict. An addict might steal something from you, right? That don't mean that the addict don't love you. You got to understand Jarvis's condition. Jarvis suffers from mental disorders. Jarvis has a mental disorder. And the reason why Jarvis has a mental disorder, because of this woman right here. See, we're forgetting Jarvis's trauma. We are forgetting Jarvis's trauma. So this is where Jarvis's trauma stems from. He was inappropriately touched. He was inappropriately touched. Once again, that word love is so tricky. It's so tricky because many of us will base whether or not a person loves us off of how they treat us. And it happens all the time. People do things to us all the time. But that still don't take away whether or not they loved us. Love is a feeling that you have towards somebody. And cold as it may be, and I know a lot of y'all ain't happy with me, but as cold as it may be, Jarvis had love for Naziah. Jarvis loved Naziah. But then when the inappropriately touching started to take place, Jarvis fell in love with Naziah the same way Naziah fell in love with Jarvis. And I know y'all don't like what I just said. Hey, it is what it is. I'm going to say it again because I really want y'all to hear it. In the beginning, Jarvis loved Naziah. He had love for Naziah. But when the inappropriately touching took place, that's when he fell in love with Naziah. And as cold as it sounds, Naziah fell in love with Jarvis. All of us. So we can't act brand new. All of us have been in love with somebody that we shouldn't have been in love with. All of us has mistaken sex, right? All of us has mistaken sex for love. But in that moment, you couldn't tell us we wasn't in love. That's what I'm saying. That's the plane that I'm landing. That's the plane that I'm landing. Let me see what's on the chat. Shank, he should love himself enough to go get help. That's another story, Anita. That's another story. See, we can't pass judgment. We can't, and that's what most of us are doing in this case. We're passing judgment. We're saying what Jarvis should have done. Jarvis should have did this. Jarvis should have did that. Woo-dee-woo-woo-woo-woo-woo-woo. You gotta remember, this is an individual who suffers from trauma. I'm just calling a spade a spade. He suffers from trauma. And that's the root of Jarvis's problem. Jarvis never got the help that he was supposed to have gotten. I promise y'all, if Jarvis would have got the help for the inappropriate touching of the woman done to him at 13, I promise y'all, it would have been a different turnout. He never got no help. Now, we can sweep it up under the rug if that's what y'all want to do. He ain't getting no help. Well, Shank, y'all know how y'all men are. You know, it was a badge of honor. You can't say that. As I stated before, you got to take a 13-year-old Jarvis's feelings in consideration. He was a little boy when the inappropriate touching started. By a grown woman. Imagine, fellas, not the ladies because y'all can't imagine, but fellas, just imagine. At 13 years old, our best friend ain't at a length where as though we can compete with no grown woman. Our third leg ain't but that big at 13, so we can't keep up with no grown woman. And then you got to remember, he's new to, a 13-year-old is new to the inappropriate touching. He only like, oh, snap. He don't got no control over it. He's too young, is what I'm saying. He can't compete. He can't keep up with no grown woman. I see you, Lent. I see you, Shia. I see you, Shari. Appreciate that. I see you, SP. Not me now. So this is a love story. Correct. Correct. Naziah cried out as a toddler. The kids say he hurt them, and the adults said, shush and endure. There is a pure love and a sick love. Jarvis had a sick love for this child out of sickness. I agree 100%. I actually agree with you, Shank. There's no way he could have laid with her as many times as he did and not develop feeling for her. That's all I'm saying, everybody. That's just all I'm saying. And we've all been there. I've been there several times. you constantly giving yourself. I'm constantly sleeping with this woman. This woman is constantly sleeping with me, regardless of our background, regardless whether or not we supposed to be together or not. Those feelings are going to come forward. You can't escape the feelings. You can't. But as Tanya said, it's a real love, a good love, but then it's a sick love. Jarvis had a sick love. However, the love is still love. Make sure everybody subscribes to Miss Parker's backup channel, Switching Lanes with Miss Parker. We want to get Miss Parker monetized. Miss Parker, make sure you're in the chat dropping your link. Once again, make sure everybody subscribes to Miss Parker's backup channel, Switching Lanes with Miss Parker. Also, make sure y'all subscribe to my backup channel, After Dark with Shank Rock Films. We will be on the backup channel tonight at 10. Appreciate the super chat, Just Missy. Great demonstration. Jarvis is sick because he didn't get any help, but he still had feelings. A monster still has feelings. Animals have feelings. We all have feelings. Some of us can turn them off, but in certain situations, the feelings are going to get turned on. All of us have feelings. King Kong had feelings. Godzilla had feelings. Appreciate the super chat, Lynn. I agree with you, Shank. Jarvis had a sick love. But he loved her. And let me say it again for those that may have just pulled up. Remember, see, that's why I love the backtrack. And even though I might get one thing out of something, when I backtrack, I see it for something else. Now, remember, Shannon said it should have been no more than a niece or uncle relationship, right? But then we was able to point out later on she lied because she knew that it was more than an uncle and niece relationship. Okay, we done that part with that. But let's come back to what she said and listen to what she said. It should have been no more than an uncle and niece relationship because Shannon knows that's how Jarvis's and Naziah's relationship started out. He didn't start out inappropriately touching Naziah. Appreciate your super sticker, Charlie Webb. He didn't. He didn't just start out inappropriately touching her. But it started out, as Shannon said, it shouldn't have been no more than an uncle and a niece relationship. And that's how it started out. And that was the love that he had for her. He loved her. He loved her like that. Shank, how could he love? See, once again, we're not in reality and we're not looking at this for what it is. I say it again. Animals love. A pit bull, and correct me if I'm wrong, a pit bull will tear the fur off of you and my funky ass, right? But a pit bull loves they owners. Yes or no? A pit bull loves the owner's children. Yes or no? But the minute that pit bull thinks that the owner is giving more attention to the 4-year-old child, the 5-year-old child, the 6-year-old child that the pit bull loves, once that pit bull gets jealous and once that pit bull sees that that child is getting more attention than they getting, that pit bull going to tear the fur off of that child's ass, the child that the pit bull loves. So you can't tell me if you love somebody, you won't harm them. Why? The pit bull started out loving the child. In some instance, the pit bull turns on their own owners. What happened? Now, can y'all say that, well, the pit bull must have fell out of love with the owner, right? And I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be rude, y'all. But when y'all come to the channel, okay, what are we doing here? Feels like this channel's starting to play for the defense. You know what? I'm not going to entertain it, Lucky Lady, because I want you to feel comfortable with giving your opinion. And you have that right to express your feelings, all right? It's not that the channel is playing for the defense. It's just my channel is a fair channel. My channel is a fair channel. And I believe in playing devil's advocate. I believe in backtracking what I may believe to be true. Right? Now, back to what I was saying. That love started out an uncle and a niece love. He loved her. Then when the inappropriately touching started to take place, he fell in love with her. It was a sick love that he had. See, we get caught up on thinking that love is about right. If you love someone, everything that you do will be right. I wish my sister was here. Deborah, if you can hear me, please forward to me the true definition of love. Because Webster's dictionary, Webster's got it wrong. Webster's got that word love wrong. But love is either unconditional love, that's the love between the parents, grandparents, siblings, that's an unconditional love. But then you got that love that comes with feelings. Now, let me put y'all up on some game, ladies. Now, this is free game. And most of y'all ladies probably already know this. How many times have y'all heard us men tell y'all that we love y'all? And then once we get the panties, the love that we said we had ain't there. We'll tell you all day long, you know I love you, baby, just to get the kitty cat. Right? But I don't want to go too far. I want this demonstration to stay right at, how dare you say Jarvis loved Naziah Harris, even though he did. If it was a uncle and a niece relationship, where the uncles at? Where the uncles at? Come on now. He loved her. Now, let's go a little further. I know based on the evidence that they have, Jarvis didn't red rum Naziah. And see, that's what a lot of people is basing it off of. Shank Rob, if he loved her, he wouldn't have unalived her. It's no evidence. It's no concrete evidence. You know what I mean? It's no concrete evidence to prove that he red rummed her. I'll wait. I'll drop the link. Can somebody come up on the platform and tell me where's the evidence that Jarvis red rum Naziah? The case is jacked up. The case that they got against Jarvis is so jacked up. As always, Peewee comes to give us some jewels. Salute, Peewee.
Lucian, can you hear me, yo?
Yes, sir. Talk to us, Peewee.
I was listening to what you were saying, right? And I was looking at the chat, and everybody had some good points, right? But it's just some things that, like you said, and somebody else said that there's some things that in so I can help everybody understand. I want everybody to remove your emotional self from the situation, right? You have to and a lot of times we have to remove our emotions and our feelings and how we feel towards about things about others and life, right? So what you said was correct, but the other person said it was a sick love. Was they in love? I can, from the standpoint, anyway, explain it. And then this case that I've been following and hearing, jumping in on this case as you do this case, um, let's look at it. I'm asking the chat, everybody, let's look at this. Let's take our feelings out of it and just think logically for a moment, right? And in that moment, and I'm telling you from my standpoints to my profession and what I work in and how I deal with people, and I see the stuff that goes on. Um, I'm gonna start from where it was an uncle and a niece relationship, and the sickness and how the sickness come in and the difference between the love. Now, when we have our family love, and we all have that relative that gets on our nerves that we can't stand, that we know that they're not nothing, but we don't want, because of the love and the compassion that we have for them, we don't want to see anything happen to them, right? So boom. So, and listen, I got family members I can't stand, and I'm quite sure a lot of other people got family members they don't like. They just don't vibe with. They can be at the family functions. We only being cordial and being around each other, operating with each other because of the family, because we say we are family, right? And we know that all family ain't blood, right? So, boom. Then you got and I need y'all to follow me. You have generational curse, right? General case of curses, something that happens in the family that have been occurred in the family, from drug addiction to mental health, all that stuff. Something that happened in the family or family traditions that was carried on that nobody else agreed with in their family or would allow in their family, but it can carry on. So, but the thing with Jarvis and not Naziah was this. It's like you said, son. It started off as a niece and nephew love, right?
Uncle,
But then
uncle.
we're talking about uh we talking about an undeveloped mind and a sick one, right? We talking about a mind that have experienced trauma, that had he listen. Jarvis had his own trauma. Jarvis had his own sexual advances as a child. Jarvis had a mother that probably had the same things that was occurring in their family that was all right before he even met Naziah. So now Naziah as a child with an undeveloped mind, listen, and in her family, experiencing some neglect, right? She's experiencing neglect. She wants something. She's not getting the things she wants. Then we talk about the manipulation and stuff that comes with our child. You understand what I'm saying? So, because as parents, we got to be there to be able to guide the children because we know that they're going to try some stuff that they shouldn't even be trying. So now you got two individuals, right? You have a sick-minded individual and an undeveloped mind child that is not coming together, right? And like you said, it and then a lot of people gotta understand this about Jarvis. In his mind, whenever he was touched or sexually S8, whenever that happened to him at that age, he start to believe as he's even continued to grow that was all right. Even though we know that it's not. But in Jarvis' mind, and you talking about the sickness of him or his never addressed issues. Cause listen, if you never, and I can't say this enough to know, I don't care who you is. If you don't address your issues will address you.
That's
You,
facts.
you,
That's
you,
facts.
you understand? They're gonna come out. They're gonna come out when you don't want to. They're gonna show up in your life. They're gonna listen. It shows up in a lot of people's lives as lack of confidence, lack of belief, or because you don't believe that you can have better and you settle. because of your own mind and your own thinking. If you don't get out of it or address it or get some help for it, you will continue to live like this. So he never, the sick love was him as a grown man, and then he crossed that line with her. Because listen, in his mind, it was all right to cross that line, even if he know morally or socially it's not accepted. But in his mind, you talking about the you talking about the thing that you operate off, and a lot of people will say it's sick, and they yes it's sick, yes it's, I don't like it. Though a lot of people don't like it. The emotional me don't like it. The morally me don't like it. But like you said, that don't mean to say that they didn't have unhealthy love.
Bingo. Let me slide in, Peewee. Appreciate this super chat, Eartha. Romeo and Juliet syndrome. And was what's poppin', Shank, unhealthy? Appreciate this super chat, Alicia. Let's go, Shank and Peewee. And it's we've been there before. I've been there. But that didn't mean that I didn't love this woman. That didn't
Shank,
mean. Go ahead, Peewee.
Shank, let's give him a true story. Let's give him a true story. And I'm gonna give you the true story, and I'm gonna tell the truth that what I did. Shank was doing his thing. And probably some
No,
people
no,
already heard of
no,
this. Some
no,
some
no,
people, some
no,
people
no,
yo,
no, Peewee.
but
No.
listen. All right, I'm gonna say I'm gonna respect your wishes, Shank. But to see this stuff that I'm not ashamed of because that's not the person who I am today.
All right, go ahead. You know what?
Okay.
Go ahead, Pee Wee. Go ahead. You right.
So
Go ahead.
bam, Shank, I'm gonna say have a nice amount of kids. Shank was out doing his thing. He was trying to support peace for to his kids. He wasn't doing nothing. I'm in the streets. I'm getting high. Shank asked me to do something. I did it. It involved money, and I took money. And now I understand that I took money and food out of Shank's mouth. I double crossed him. Put it like that. That don't mean to say I ain't love Shank. Cause I got listen. Look at the condition that I was in. I was smoking crack. I was sniffing dope.
Yeah.
You understand? I was lying, I was cheating, I was manipulating, I was in, I was being, I was emotionally, mentally, and spiritually hijacked by the drug. So me loving Shank has nothing to do with what I did to him.
And let me say this and see, and that's why I'm trying to tell y'all, just because a person hurt you or just because a person does something to you, that don't mean that that person don't love you. Me and Pee Wee got too much history for me to even think he don't love me. It was the circumstances that Pee Wee was in. It was the condition that Pee Wee was in that allowed him to hurt me. But that didn't mean that Pee Wee didn't love me. And that's all I'm saying. He loved me. It was just a certain circumstances that he was in that caused him to do what he done. And I'm gonna let Pee Wee come back in. It was a sick situation that took place. And that's all I'm saying when it comes to Jarvis. That's it. In the beginning, there was a genuine love that Jarvis had for Naziah. But then it turned twisted and it turned into a sick love. Come on then, Pee Wee.
Mm. So, but no, but you just explained it away. I mean, and and by me hurting him and him hurt, he came back and he did what he did to me, and I wasn't mad at him because I understood then what I had done to him. I'm not just hurting him; I'm hurting people behind him, along with my hurting myself. So that didn't say that I listen. I love listen. If it's a God that I die for or die with, it's him, because I know he got my back, and he's been like this since we were kids. I don't care what nobody did to me, what he said to me, he always expressed that he messed with me, he loved me, and he cared for me. And the same way I did for him. Shank and Peewee got a lot of history of getting locked up and doing stuff bad together. Shank and history lying to our parents for each other to save each other hides. But that don't mean to say I didn't love him. But it was the condition that I was in at that time. Same way we is now. I can call him if he needs something. He can call me. That doesn't see that because guess what? I address my issues. Now, listen, I didn't tell Shank, I didn't do nothing, tell Shank or talk a lot. Shank seen my change. Shank seen that listen, yeah, my brother able to love me like I'm able to love him now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, it wasn't nothing that I talked about. So people got to understand the mental and emotional condition of the person that we're talking about. The same people, that's the same way. Man, Shank both from Baltimore, Maryland. But if you go somewhere else and if you go to Baltimore and people who remembers that away, they're gonna say some things that you might be like, no, this is not the same person that I'm talking to. It's not the same person, but that's what they're holding on to. That's where their mind's at. And then when they
That's
see this,
facts.
the same people, this is the same they. This is true story. I go home and people don't even believe I'm the person that I used to be.
That's facts. Because he addressed his issue. Jarvis never had the opportunity to get his issues addressed. Finish cooking, Peewee.
Right. But you know, I mean, so I just want people because we get sometimes listen, and then this is another thing I gotta share because somebody shared this with me, Shane. Just because somebody did something that we don't like doesn't make them wrong. I
That's
just
facts.
didn't like it.
That's facts.
I just didn't like it. And a lot of people get emotionally and mentally and not liking something messed up with it was right or it was wrong. It might not have been right to you because you didn't like it, but it was the right thing to do. You understand what I'm saying?
That's facts.
And so, but with the Naziah and Jarvis case, and that's the thing, and this a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know this. People plead mentally this in court and mentally that when it comes to court, and then they got this thing called, and I'm quite sure a lot of people, pre-sentence investigation. Why do they do a pre-sentence investigation? Because they want to look back at your history to see if anything bad happened to you, anything disruptive happened to you, you get a psyche vow, you get all that stuff because before the sentencing, they want to make sure that you can be able to handle what you get ready to go into. In the prison, whether it be prison, jail, probation, or whatever, but they need to look at that and see, well, yeah, I understand why he did it, and then the same way, but this is why they do it. Was it some violence? Was it some violence in the home? Was it any un, unhuman, un, I can't forget it. The any dehumanizing things that happen to you along the way. You understand? So they can try to understand your mind, the way your mind operate. This is why they do this stuff, and this is why these things occur. Because listen, they need to know the history of where you come from, what you're doing, or what's going on with you before they even move into the sentencing part, because they got to understand, or is we going to send him to a sane aside or somewhere, therapy, mental health housing, or we're going to send him to jail. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the reason why they do these things. All these things play a part in it, and we don't like it. And yeah, a lot of us think is wrong, but this is you get these people that get sentenced, and we can consider them incorrect. But do we know what's going on in the mind of that person? You understand what I'm saying? Or what's going on in that person's life? The same way the things that's going on now, we didn't see this coming. We did not see the things that's going on there. Like a lot of people. That's and I'm just telling. I just want y'all to look at the change in the and because they tell me ain't nothing consistent but change. But the change in how things people wasn't getting popular off of that. We didn't have the internet in the back in the day. Remember we didn't have stuff to look at. But now you got kids, teenagers getting rich off of the internet, comedians becoming famous off of internet doing skits because it's more exposure. We didn't have that exposure. You understand what I'm saying? We didn't have well listen, like that and people say the generation go outside. We had to go outside. We just went our parents weren't scared to send us outside. Our parents
Remember?
weren't all right with us staying in the house all day. sitting around adults or being in our room. We had to go outside. Listen, that's why we have social skills, where some
Mm,
of them don't have social skills. That's why we're able to listen. We're able to navigate mentally through rough times when life show up. We're
mm,
not feeling titles, feel as like somebody else should do it for us. You understand the mental concept of even childhood has changed, even with our own children, because we had to change with it.
mm.
You understand? Because we listen, we don't we and some of us, and because I'm still stuck on, I don't want nobody to make fun of my child. So yeah, yeah, I pay for the Jordans and the Nikes, and I do all that. Why? Because I don't want my because of my experience of us having a lot of jokes and cracking on each other. I don't want that. I want my son to have some comeback. I don't even want to I'm just like Wayne messing with him. You understand what I'm saying? But this is stuff
Amen.
that bred than us, that bred the things that we have today. So even with looking at this Jarvis and Naziah, yeah, listen, I don't listen. I really don't like it. I really don't think a grown man. How and Shank, you said this at the beginning, like even with love, right? They say love is an action word, right? But how about when the love is distorted? When you got distorted love,
Mm,
or when you think you in love, or when you fast, you're not in love. You're just infatuated.
mm.
How many times us as grown people? I'm 51 years old, so I know people older than me here, or as older. Than me. I've been infatuated so many times. You feel what I'm saying? But it looked like love, but it's not. You feel me? And listen, the stuff that I accepted when I thought what I until I found out or felt the real love, I accepted.
And
And when I just
let me
go
ask
ahead,
you
Shank.
this. Let me ask you this. Okay, in your addiction, right? You
Mm-hmm.
spoke on your addiction. How
Mm-hmm.
many how many people did you hurt that you love? Minus
Oh
me.
boy.
Now we already spoke on hurting me. How many other people in your
A,
addiction you hurted that you loved?
a whole lot of people. Willingly and unknowingly and unknowingly. From my moms to my kids. Yeah, I did that. And I see and that's why I'm better and I address the issues because I can take accountability because I couldn't see it when I was doing it. Oh, and the words I ain't hurt nobody but myself, but you lying. You hurting
Yep,
your family,
yep.
you hurting your friends, you hurting yourself. Most of all, you hurting yourself. Because listen, you don't even allow yourself to be loved
Mm.
when you feel me? What?
You preaching to the choir now. Mm,
You feel me? You don't allow yourself to be loved. So how can you give something that you ain't even allowing in?
mm.
And you don't have none for yourself. So how can you give something that you don't have?
That's facts.
You understand what I'm saying? So listen, listen. I stole from my mother. I'm talking about stole from them. Listen, that's why I ain't got no shine. I stole from my mother. I lied on my kids and stole from them. I lied on my friends and stole from them. I manipulated. I stole from everything that wasn't stole that's nailed down. I hurt some people in the course of pursuing a substance or in my addiction. Because my addiction ain't always had nothing to do with substance. Sometimes it just had to do with I just wanted to do something because I couldn't sit with myself. I wasn't all right with me.
Mm.
So me being all right with you was all you me not being all right with you was all right with me. I don't know if y'all get this. Understand it and the sickness in my mind. Now, yes, and yes, my mind has developed. Yes, I have learned who I am. Yes, I have learned to have some compassion, some feelings, show some love, show some appreciation, show some gratitude. I have them things now.
Mm,
I didn't have that, yo, when I was getting high.
mm.
I
That's real.
didn't.
Let
I
me
really
appreciate my bad, Peewee. Appreciate this super sticker, Drea. Appreciate this super chat, Tanya. My bad. Come on back in, Peewee. That's real.
I didn't have those things. I'm, I mean, and the paper I said, well, what does have to? Yo, this go hand in hand. Because with Jarvis, he don't. If he been experiencing these things and he at this what at this age and he don't miss. If this happened to him at 16, at 13 or 9, he had been living with this. How many people still live with the things that happened to them when they were kids? People are still living with this stuff. It's a lot of people that today they still living today and yesterday. You still think about it. You still the corners of your mind because you haven't had this stuff addressed, or you don't want to talk about it, or you're going to go to your listen, or it's going to take you to your grave because you always thinking like somebody can look at you and say, "Oh yeah, he been touched, she been touched." Can't nobody look at you and tell that, but in your mind they do. I don't know what is happening with anybody until I encounter them.
Mm,
And then when I encounter them, if it's something that seems out of the ordinary or irregular, I still don't want to touch it because I don't know what's going on with that person. I don't know if that person is suicidal or homicidal.
mm, that's real.
I don't know that because I don't know what happened in that person yesteryear.
And and that's the point. We don't know what happened in the person's yesteryears. Alicia or another moderator, make sure y'all drop Jaquetta's link. Appreciate the membership, Jaquetta, and make sure everybody subscribes to Jaquetta. We want to get Jaquetta channel monetized. You
You
and
know what
see,
I'm saying?
and I'm gonna let you build off of this, people. We know what happened to Jarvis in his yesteryears. He was inappropriately touched at 13 years old by this lady. Now, Peewee, you are
Yeah.
a man just as well as I'm a man. Now, maybe it is only me. Now, at 13 years old,
Mm-hmm.
our our best friend ain't that fully developed. our
Right.
our best let's keep it real. Imagine at 13 years old you're with a full grown woman. I spoke for me at 13 years old, at and I'm trying to keep up with a full grown woman. It's nowhere in the world that my third leg can keep up with this woman. That's trauma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jarvis was taken advantage of by this grown woman. Come on in, Peewee.
All right, so um and it's crazy because I remember you saying that too earlier. Any you gotta realize that first of all, and this is law I'm about to give y'all. You can't sentence a child to more than whatever the sentence is because until after the age of 16, because the frontal lobe of their brain has not developed to make social decisions or any kind of decision, right? So, and then you got a child, or man child, or a man or a boy, right, that has been touched at the age of 13. With he never listen, he never shared this with nobody. He never exposed this except through his behaviors. So the reason why Jarvis, I can understand Jarvis' situation because he's been carrying this, even as in because he's been touched. I mean, even as even though it was a woman, but you got to look at the manipulation of that woman who touched him. The thing she had to be sick to even want to sleep with a 13-year-old little boy.
Right, right.
So you see how the sick. Because listen, because I'm quite sure the lady that touched him was touched before. And I'm talking
Mm,
about. That's what I'm talking about. It carries over. It passes on if we don't address it. And even if we do address it, sometimes if we're not addressing, exposing the whole thing, it's going to expose you
mm,
in some kind of way down the line. People, we're
mm.
not looking at that. You talking about a grown woman, right? That touched a 13-year-old little boy, and then saying like you said, at, at that point, a 13-year-old boy, hmm, maybe he could or was willing to be taught or whatever the case may be, but mentally, you talking about a mature woman who's manipulating a little boy. That's what's the difference between and people get it messed up. Like it's cool for a boy and a woman, but it's not cool for a girl and a man. See the double standards with that?
I see it, and let me say this. I'm sorry that you had to experience what you had experienced. Dedicated prayers. Let me say this, and also other women were inappropriately touching Jarvis when Jarvis was a little boy. See, once again, and I keep stressing this, we're not saying that Jarvis should get off of inappropriately touching Naziah. We're not
Nope.
saying that. My opinion, Jarvis should be locked up for life just off of inappropriately touching Naziah and the other children. That's not what we're saying. We're not. I'm not trying to help Jarvis's
No,
defense team.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I'm not trying to help. We ain't trying to help Jarvis's defense team to beat these cases. The inappropriately touching case ain't nothing that I can say. Ain't nothing that Peewee can say. Ain't nothing that none of the content creators can say that's going to get him off of that inappropriately touching. They got him on the inappropriately touching. And he'll probably do some football numbers off of that inappropriately touching. Now, when it comes to the unaliving, the red rum, we are saying that we don't believe that he unalived her because of the evidence. We're focusing on the evidence. Peewee, you've dealt with the system plenty of times. What
Absolutely.
is it in the courtroom? It ain't what you know, ain't it? It's what you can prove.
Right. Absolutely. When Denzel Washington said it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And a lot of times they know that they probably can't because they can't prove that he unalived her at this time.
Bingo. And let me just say this. You've been around convicts. You
Absolutely.
was a convict. You
Mhm.
already know how to play your charges. All right, they got me on this. All right, damn. They don't got me on this over here. And
Yeah.
all right, let me see how I'ma handle this. All right.
He willing to deal. He see now, and desperate. Hold on, how this joint go? Desperate plans comes with calls for desperate measures.
Mm-hmm.
So he's desperate right now. So him exposing this stuff, even though it's too late, he's willing to expose it now because he's desperate. Desperation. Yo, listen. People say I hurt and desperation will make you do something different. Pain will make you do something different. That's what changed me. The pain. Pain motivated me to change to do something different because I was in so much pain mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. I had to do something different and I had to get out of the place and I had to come out and start exposing some stuff. That's what people don't understand. So now listen, he's like you said, he's facing football numbers. He want to see the light of day again. So look, I'm reaching for everything. I'm pulling everything out. Listen, I'm pulling everything out the basket. Here it go. Look, this is why I did what I did, and this is what I done. And now, then you got people listen. You got the analysts, you got the psychics, you got all these people. Now they're analyzing and they picking it apart. So this listen, I don't agree, but listen, this is crazy because it's and once again, because we live in the United States and in other cultures, right? Other cultures, several cultures, people become grown at 12 and 13 years old.
Speak on that, Pee-wee.
You feel
Speak
me?
speak on that. I'm gonna let Pee-wee speak.
you what you think bar mitzvahs and stuff like that, even in our culture, that is what they saying that this child has now graduated into adulthood at 12 and 13 years old, right? But I don't know how they prepare a child's mind for that. But now this child can start to go out and wed, um, date, and stuff like that. So once again, because we don't agree with it and it doesn't fly, and we got laws that's supposed to protect this, but it's all right when you in a culture and they say it's cool. Yeah. So we once again it's a balance. You got to find your balance. You got to know when and when not to. You know what I mean? You got to know when to say something. Like Kenny Rogers, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. I'm not definitely not. I don't believe in no adult messing with an adolescent or even or a teenager. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in that. It's just something that's my belief. That's how I grew up. That's how I was raised. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in harming children and all that stuff. But this is what's going on. This is and I gotta say, I admit it with my even my own child. My son was 16 years old dating a 22-year-old. Is that crazy? Yeah, that's crazy to me. And I ain't gonna, and I never lie about. I'm a very transparent person. She was a cute fat person. I mean, nice body, cute, and all that stuff. I'm high fiving my son. He's 17 years. I mean, he's what 16, 15 years old. And if when I tell him to stay or stop or get away from him, and I knew what stay, stop, and get away from said to me when I was that age. That means go forward, keep going, don't stop. You understand what I'm saying? So, and but then you gotta understand like the psychological warfare that goes on in your own head
Mm,
and say that it's all right. A lot of things, even as an adult, some things tell me it's all right to do. Right. And I know, listen, I might know that it's all right, but I got this mindset in my mind saying, man, it'll be all right. Or I can handle whatever. Listen, I can handle whatever consequences come from it. And then when the consequences come, I can't handle it.
mm.
So I
That's
got
real.
to, I got to weigh it out.
That's
Nah, not today.
Amen.
and,
Amen.
and
Amen.
because, and another thing that I've become conscious of, who am I going to hurt the valuable? Listen, I ain't talking about just the peons, just the associates, just the people that I negotiate, I deal with. I'm talking about the people that I love. Am I going to hurt them? I
That's
have to
real.
consider that stuff now.
That's
What are
real.
my children going to do? What listen, I got a girlfriend. I can admit to that today. What is my girlfriend going to think? Uh, what my nieces and my nephews? Because listen, I'm accountable today. I'm
Mm,
present today. Listen, I'm a sufficient today.
that's real.
You understand what I'm saying? You got a whole bunch of adult. Listen, I'm talking about. I be on Instagram and I go. I think ain't the only one I go. I just on Instagram and I'm seeing these big age people that act like. Listen, age doesn't make you mature. It does. It just don't. Maturity does not because it's just a lot of grown children we have today. A lot of uh what they call them yeah, grown children. They're grown physically and age wise, but mentally and emotionally wise, they're not grown.
That's facts. That's facts. Appreciate the super sticker, Sean. Appreciate the super sticker, Sean. That's facts.
You know what I mean? Everybody wants something, but don't nobody want to give nothing. I don't understand that. I mean I understand that, I get it, but it just don't fly with me. You know, and the people have a problem with letting go what's not sufficient for you or helping you or assisting you. And I ain't talking about financially neither. I'm talking about I can call. Do you have a friend that you can call and vent to and don't have to worry about judgment?
Mm,
Do you have that friend? Because I got a couple of those friends. Do you have a friend that you can say, listen, I did this and that's gonna put the mirror. I ain't gonna sanction your stuff. I ain't gonna hold it, but it's gonna hold the mirror up and say, look at yourself. Do you have that kind of friend? Do you have a friend that's gonna tell you the truth regardless if it's gonna hurt your feelings or not? Do people have that? Because that is important. Do you have female or male friends? I don't care if you're in a relationship or not. I got female and male friends. Why? Because if I mess up with the female that I love, that I'm with, I can go to the female that I don't. That's just my friend. That's gonna give me some real. Gonna tell me, yeah, you messed that up, or you need to go back and apologize, or maybe you did that wrong. But if you don't have those kind of people in your life, what you holding on to? What you holding on to them for?
Mm.
I don't understand that, because them the kind of people I need in my life that keeps me on track.
It's
And then
facts.
you know what I mean. Then even with y'all, what kind of people would you hanging out with? What kind of mindset of the people that you hanging out with? And we used to say that you hang. Shit, remember, if the girlfriend's doing this, but if you hang with them, you won too. The birds of a
Yep.
feather flock together, and then you
Yep.
got the ones that say, "Well, I don't do that. I don't do this. I don't do that." But what do it look like? You're not worrying about what it looked like. You just worrying about what you want to do. But what do it look like? I,
That's facts. And I know back in the days, that's what I'm saying, like the 304s, the skeezers and all of that. The
Mhm.
female see, that was one of the things that I missed about back in the days. I missed how we would do it. We still do it today. We definitely will hold each other accountable as far as men, but the females, y'all remember, females held other females accountable. Like if one of their homegirls was out there a freak or a skeezer, they wouldn't hang with her no more. You know, they would be like, I can't hang with you no more. Or the other friends would be like, your girl, your homegirl, don't bring her around no more. Cause
Mhm.
they didn't want to be associated
Yeah,
with her.
absolutely.
And that's what I was saying about with Jarvis. How was Jarvis allowed? See, the way how the narrative goes, they got Jarvis painted as a super predator, a
Yeah.
super monster. But if you look at the evidence, Jarvis was only allowed to do the things that he done. They allowed Jarvis to do the things that he had done. Why? Ask yourself that. Why was Jarvis allowed? Why did King a convict, why did King allow Jarvis to be around him like that? Frank, why did the men, the uncle, Gamble, I see you, Sages. Why did the men allow him to be around like that? Me and Peewee and the rest of my homies, Jarvis wouldn't have stood a chance around us. And not just us, any neighborhood
Mm.
in Baltimore City, any neighborhood in Cincinnati, any neighborhood in Charlotte, any neighborhood in Chicago, any neighborhood around the whole United States of America. Jarvis wouldn't have stood a chance. But why was he allowed to operate in Detroit the way that he operated? That's the question that has to be answered. Appreciate your super sticker, Rhapsody. See, it's what I keep saying to everybody. It's bigger than Jarvis. And then I'm gonna let you come back in, Pee Wee. How many of y'all remember the Atlanta Child Red Rums? Y'all remember Wayne Williams? You remember Wayne Williams, Pee Wee? Remember in, I think it
Mhm.
was 79, I believe it was from 1979 to I believe 1981. Okay, now Wayne Williams was convicted of all of the Atlanta Child Red Rums. However, they only had evidence for three. They only had evidence for three of those children, maybe five, that linked Wayne Williams to the three. What did they do? Because they didn't want a race riot to pop off in Atlanta, they charged all 28 or 31, I can't remember the number, but they charged all of them unalivings to Wayne Williams. A couple of the parents said, I know he ain't unalive my child. One woman said, my child was twice the size big as Wayne Williams. It's no way in the world he could have did that to my child. Other parents said that the sheriff told them, we are putting all of the cases on Wayne so we can hurry up and close the case. And this is the same thing that the state of Michigan is doing with Jarvis. They just throwing everything at Jarvis because, and this is a fact. This is a fact, dedicated and lucky lady. This is a fact. The CPS, Detroit CPS dropped the ball. The Detroit school system dropped the ball. The family dropped the ball. The who else? DPD, all Kim Worthy, all of them dropped the ball. All of them failed Naziah. Okay, we got us another Wayne Williams. We going to use Jarvis, and we're going to pin all of this on Jarvis to hurry up, close the case, and hope that this go away because we are the ones that failed Naziah. Jarvis didn't fail Naziah. Jarvis groomed Naziah. Jarvis played on Naziah's intelligence. So now, why you think they don't got the strong evidence on Jarvis about the red rum? Shank, but it's video footage that Jarvis and Naziah went into the hotel, but only Jarvis came out. It ain't no footage of Jarvis and Naziah going in that hotel. But do y'all see how they manipulated us? Do y'all see how they played on our intelligence by putting that out there in the beginning? In the beginning. So everybody running around, scrambling, but Jarvis went in that hotel with Naziah and only Jarvis came out. But guess what? That's not even true. Let's look at the clothing items. Miss Annette, Shannon, they gave testimonies of different clothing items that Naziah wore that day. And what did the specialists say? When they found those clothing items, the clothing items was fresh. The clothing items didn't have no stains. Them clothing items being outside, the animals that was out there would have got to the clothing item. Those clothing items, the pink, correct me if I'm wrong, the pink onesie, that pink onesie was in damn near excellent condition when they found it. So we know that the pink onesie was planted. We know that the red, black, and white Nikes was planted. We know the hoodie was planted. We know it was all planted. Why? Why? Let me guess. Jarvis planted that, Shank. Too much on January the 9th that was going on. They was in Ypsilanti, right? They was fixing the car. Jarvis' sister was on patrol watching Naziah. All these things went on. They seen Naziah walking in the street. They were able to make it back to the shop 8:45. Now King supposed to be back because King is on the home monitor device. Why would King take a chance of leaving Detroit at 7:30 that night, knowing he had to get back by 9 o'clock? Okay, now they got to travel to Ypsilanti. Then they got to travel back from Ypsilanti to Detroit. And then they got to count up the money and keep up and put the receipts. Too much was going on January the 9th. Is the plane that I'm landing. Then they went into the hotel. Too much. Come on. Y'all can't see that they trying to play on our top? Shannon said Naziah never came home. How did Shannon get the tablet? How was Shannon able to get the tablet? if Naziah never came home? Oh, oops, I forgot. Shannon said she was the last one to see Naziah. So I guess Shannon got the tablet. And usually we all watch Perry Mason, Murder, She Wrote, Starsky and Hutch, Matlock. We all watch them Detective Beretta. We all watch them TV shows coming up. Usually the last person that is seen with the deceased, that's the person that unalived them. Shannon said, I was the last one to see Naziah. Huh? I mean, we can keep going on and on and on. I believe that I've broken this down so many times. I believe Toot broke it down so many times. Miss Parker, Cold Piece, Mocha, Shanika, all of the content creators have broke it down. And I believe we all, as content creators, we all feel the same. Jarvis was the scapegoat. Go to any platform. After watching this demonstration, go to any platform. All the names that I mentioned and any of the other ones that I didn't mention, go to their platforms. And y'all gonna be like, God damn it, they over here saying the same stuff Shankin was saying over there on his platform. You go to that platform, God damn it, they saying the same thing. Why is all these content creators saying the same thing? I'll wait. Come on in, P.
Yo, and listening to what you're saying, and it's crazy because they, you know how you have one thing on one side, and you say, oh, I can add this to it, so it can look like this, and that's what the thing about it is they are, listen. I already got this. They are, listen. Jarvis, and once again, Jarvis already is in the predicament. So let's just add this to it to make it look like this. And then you got all those people who saying this and that. But why was this allowed for him? Like you said, why was this allowed for this to go on for so long? I'm just back. I just understand what you're saying because you got a bunch of closed-minded people in the area. They not looking or they not questioning what's being thrown in their face because once again, they must remember how back in the day, yo, you playing with my mind. They playing with your mind.
Oh, man.
They adding stuff in to make it look like this. I'm telling you, listen, I'm telling you stuff that evidence of how I done been in situations that say, okay, ain't nobody see me in the house, but I was in the house. And then I done been in the house, nobody in the living room, everybody's pocketbook in there. I done went through everybody's pocketbook and left out because everybody's in the backyard. Then I come around the other side to come up the backyard. So they can listen, it doesn't look like it was me.
And you got a twin. Rest in peace to Reed. You got a twin. How many times you been accused of shit he done? How many times he was accused of shit you done?
Right.
Me and my brother ain't twins, but me and my brother look alike. Me and my brother talk alike.
Right.
I done been accused of shit he done. He been accused of shit I done.
Right. It's just crazy. But I'm just saying how people will paint a picture and then other people will start to believe this and carry that to somebody else. And the more people you get to believe it, the more people start to believe it. And you don't have no evidence of this. You understand what I'm saying? So, and that's the thing about, like what you said, Jarvis was already in position. He was already in a messed up position. He was already being downplayed. He has already did some unlawfully things with the young lady. So who is it easier to blame it on?
Jarvis. That's his MO.
You feel me? Who is it easier to listen?
That's his MO. We've been there before when we got the fingers pointed at us because of our MO. But then Shank ain't do that. Peewee ain't do that. And I'm sure all of y'all, I'm sure everybody in the chat, I'm sure everybody on the replay gang been in a situation when we got blamed just off of our MO and it wasn't
Right.
even us. I ain't do it. I swear, man. I done got my
Right.
ass whipped. May my mom's soul rest in peace. My brother
Right.
got my ass whipped one time behind my mother and my father. And I'm like, but
Right.
it wasn't me. Yes, it was.
So,
Pop, 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 pop. Come on, people. Come on, Peewee.
right.
Cook, Peewee. Finish cooking.
But yeah, people. So I'm just saying though, that is just crazy how and that's why I question everything now, right? And unless it, I don't have no room to question it, but I question everything now because you don't know what's real and what's not. You- and I say forgive me for this, the LGBTQ community, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I have seen men that look like women that have had this. My eyes see one thing, but it's another.
It's facts.
Even I'm talking about, and I work in this community too with these people. And I don't work with these people. When I'm sitting, and this is really an experience. I'm sitting up here and I'm giving medication to a that appears to be a man. I'm talking about full beard and everything, but his name, his legal name is Tanisha,
Mm.
and I'm sitting there like, okay. And if I go with my mind and say, man, that's not you,
Mm-hmm.
but that's this person who that is. So is
Mm-hmm.
my mind playing? Is my brain? Is my eyes playing tricks on me?
Mm.
No. And I'm just doing that so people can see like how it's easy for your eyes, or it's easy to look at something, and because it's already added in, for me to, I mean, because it's already there for me to add something in to make it appear like something else.
That's real.
That's just all I'm saying. But you know what I mean. Salute to all the mods. Salute to the chat. Shank, I love your channel. You know what I mean. I love your people in it because they really questioning. They really be trying to get to the bottom of things. Like I don't care. Ain't nothing better than the Rock Squad to me. I'm gonna stay a Rock Squad member till I pass away or whatever the case may be. Listen, I need to share this too. I'm coming, baby. I'm coming, Shank Rock, baby. I'm there in October. I'm all paid up. I'm in there. But salute to everybody in the chat, everybody, all the mods, all the riders. Listen, I love y'all. Shank, I gotta get back to work because I'm getting my money. So,
All right,
man,
Peewee, get
listen,
that money.
everybody have a blessed day. Listen, I'm here, Shank, if you need me.
All right, appreciate you, Peewee. See you in
No,
October.
absolutely.
All right. And if anybody is interested in uh, coming to the Rock Squad's third annual meet and greet, it will be in Charlotte, North Carolina, October the 23rd through October the 27th. Please see my moderator, Marty. Her Instagram handle is Martha Williams Smith. If anybody is still interested in coming to this year's third annual Rock Squad meet and greet, we will be back tonight at 10 p.m. for part 2. Make sure y'all are subscribed to my backup channel because that's where we'll be at tonight at 10 p.m. All right. And make sure we subscribe to Miss Parker's backup channel. Also, make sure we subscribe to Jaquetta. So, moderators, drop the backup channel, Shank Rock Films. Drop that link and make sure y'all meet me over there tonight at 10 p.m. for part 2. Once again, we are not saying that Jarvis is innocent of inappropriately touching Naziah Harris. We are not trying to give the defense any evidence to help free Jarvis. We believe that Jarvis should be sentenced to life for the inappropriately touching of Naziah. All right? Now, when it comes to the red rum, the unaliving of Naziah, we don't feel like there's enough evidence. We're not saying that he didn't unalive her. We're just going by the evidence. There's not enough evidence is all we are saying. The love that I'm saying that Jarvis had for Naziah, it started out as an uncle and a niece love, which was a genuine kind of love. However, when he started to inappropriately touch her, that's when the sick love came in. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I will leave the chat running and you all can hang around. Salute everybody. Once again, I'll see y'all on the backup channel at 10 p.m. Eastern time. I will leave the chat running and you all can hang around. Salute.
I like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. All right, good looking out.
Tinted window screaming after law out my mouth. I'm switching lanes from up north to down south. Now everybody trying to figure how I put it down. I took my show on the road straight out of town. Peewee is my nigga, so you know I brought some crooks with me.
1998, they tried to throw the book at me.
Tell me what you see every time you take a look at me. A straight P, I only be where the hookers be. A old head, but still can pull any fly chick. One thing's for sure, you never see me ride a nigga dick. I got a thoroughbred who loves to call me pretty daddy. Through Alabama, getting hit in a pink caddy when I come through. Everybody knows me, the young niggas love me. They call me, they OG. Go and do your homework about the shit that I spit. They gon' tell you that that nigga Shank is legit. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.
A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.
A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.
A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.
I eat a chicken box before I play a game of spades.
Can I get some
a half
ketchup?
and half is sweet tea mixed with lemonade. Some brown liquor with a Coke to sharpen up my skills. I switch lanes cause I only fuck with the real. Now she's a winner, so I got to keep her on my team. Plus I'm a real one, so I never ever sell her dreams. You wanna know if I'll quit or if I'll stop? But they say it ain't over till your casket drops. A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.
A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.
A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.
A chicken box a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.